Well, I see Ric Flair had to buy a ticket for this year's Royal Rumble. And anyway, Rick, if I wanted to send you a dirty stinking nude, how the hell's it going to get to you? There's no number there. But speaking of more worthwhile signs, thank you to Matt Parker for that sign there, and to Manal Patel for wearing that lovely shirt and spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE universe. Next time you go to a show, do what they did and not what Ric Flair did.
SmackDown packed. What was the line that you just spat?
So then, we see the big dog, tribal chief, #1 table salesman Roman Reigns do his patented drive-by dropkick, which prompted SmackDown Pat to say the following. He's taken a page out of the great Undertaker's book. Which left me asking, Pat, what page like? Is it the blank one right at the back of a book for some weird reason why the blank page is there? I've got no idea. Because quite frankly, Pat, the Undertaker never did drive-bys like that. He never did drive-bys the other way. The only thing he liked doing while driving was taking people on drives they didn't want to go on. Kidnapping. Maggle. And then we hear Maggle Cole say, that's a shield bomb, guys. How cool is that, Maggle, you knobhead? From Seth Rollins, even though it can't possibly be a shield bomb because one member of the Shield has taken the move for goodness sake, and the t'other is in a different bastard company. There's no doubt about it, everybody. Seth Rollins heard Maggle Cole utter that line on commentary, and he was saying, leave the memories alone. While he was dressed like the Shield. I'm not doing that. Makes sense. The only person in the world who liked that finish there was Bully Ray because of the heat. But I tell you what, dear viewer, Charles Robinson turned heel at the Royal Rumble of 2022. Referee's discretion is a thing, and while of course by the letter of the law that was a disqualification, Charles could have waved it off and continued the match through referee's discretion. We've seen it before in years gone by. I can hear Corey Graves saying, well, the referee has waved that one off because of the magnitude of the occasion. Therefore, Charles Robinson turned heel, down your drinks. I can see the headlines now. Byron Saxton has major heat backstage in WWE because he shared support for NXT Black and Gold via an outlandish suit. Vince McMahon murders Byron Saxton, sees the pile of bones and flesh and snot he leaves on the floor. He takes a picture with that pile and he sends it to Byron Saxton's mom. Now, you might be thinking that's a bit outlandish, but Vince McMahon threatened to do that thing, exactly that thing there, to Austin Theory on Raw a few weeks ago. Run away, Byron. It's Melina, WTF, and it's an actual surprise in the Women's Rumble match. Oh, God almighty me.
The end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh.
Sasha Banks shagging the ring mat. Melina shagging the ring mat. I might just shag the carpet right now. Splits! Oh yeah, just like that. Now, as we all know, Kelly was never known for her in-ring acumen. But I've got to make a massive WTF moment out of Kelly doing an over-the-top rope tarantula submission thingy in the midst of an over-the-top rope Royal Rumble match. You deserve that. Direct quote from Raw commentator Jimmy Smith now when he said, since we've had all the veterans, it's now time for the young buck. And I had no idea Aaliyah's shoot's second name was Jackson, sibling of Matt and Nick. Now, at the start of this very month, it was reported that Sasha Banks was going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks through injury. Quelle surprise, shock and horror, fantastic moment. She makes a big return on this week's SmackDown. She's got the momentum. She's back before she was supposed to be back. She's just like Jonathan Cena. Wabadoo, it's boss time. She's on course to win the Rumble. Maybe she can just have that big match and that big win on the grandest stage of them all. Point at the burning thing in the sky. It's not the sun, it's the WrestleMania sign. Get the match and win combo for the big belt that she deserves. That's what I'm trying to say there. Psych! Queen Zelina gets Sasha Banks out there in double quick fashion, and WWE have done Sasha Banks dirty. So dirty, it's not only a WTF moment, everybody, but so dirty, I thought Brandon DiCamillo had been in Sasha Banks' hotel room with a poo-stained tissue. You see, because Jackass was a part of Rumble 2022, CKY is linked to Jackass, poo tissue, Sasha Banks, oh God, they did her dirty. Cameron! Another actual surprise in the Women's Rumble! Yeah, oh, it's just like getting a pair of socks on Christmas morning. You gotta pretend you're enthused, but you're dying inside. Cameron. But I just thought it was fantastic that while Cameron was in the professional wrestling ring, Sonya Deville, who was on commentary because she had the jacket on and she was being a Pooh House professional wrestling heel, she had no idea about Naomi's history with Cameron. Funk is on a roll and all that booty shaking stuff. But then you're thinking, oh bloody hell, they've had to call Cameron for this year's Rumble. What the hell sort of depths are we stooping to here? But then you remember that Cameron last night was living out the dream. She finally got to compete in a match with her two idols, Alicia Fox and Melina. She was in there with them, kind of, on the same card, in the same match. She lived out the girlhood dream as Steve Austin was in tatters. And then we see Ivory, but in her RTC gimmick, which is a WTF moment, not only because it's Ivory, it's fantastic to see Ivory, but because she's in her RTC gimmick. WWE has quite literally become everything RTC wanted the old WWF back then to become, which in turn renders RTC Ivory specifically in this case, completely pointless. It was good to see Ivory all the same though. Hardcore country on the speakers. Impact Knockouts champion on the screen. The title around her waist. WWE actually bloody did it. Now some people might be saying that WWE have grown as a person and become more accepting of other people and the things other people do. But I'm saying that desperate stupid idiots who released far too many people mean they had to call people like Mickie James, and no doubt they said to Mickie James, hey, we'll give you WWE music, your WWE stuff. And then she's like, hardcore country, represent Impact, do it or I'm not coming. And they had to bow down and do it. Go on, Mickie James, go on the Impact Wrestling. Having Alicia Fox come back for a massive return like she did last night and not having her do the best Northern Light suplex in the world ever is like WWE bringing back The Undertaker and not having him do a tombstone pile driver. And after Mighty Molly, which by the way is another proper WTF moment, I don't know why I'm bloody dancing right now because it's a proper unannounced surprise, we saw Ronda and the difference between Smiley Ronda during her debut run and that snarling dark beast right there I thought was absolutely fantastic. But that's where the fantastic ends for me, because during her appearance in the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match we had it teased, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, let's get it on! No, let's not get it on. The finish to that match and how quick it was and how little Charlotte and Ronda did to each other during the course of the match tells me that Dave Meltzer's report that it's going to be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania this year, it tells me that's true. You've got Becky Lynch and Ronda singles match right there. We wanted this 3 years ago. You can give it us now, but you're still not. What's wrong with you, WWE? Why do you hate us? Oh. But hey ho, at least her really natural pointing at the burning thing in the sky. It's not the sun, it's the WrestleMania sign. At least that's improved. And just in case you didn't fully consume last night's event, you might be wondering what the hell I'm going on about. Burning thing in the sky, the WrestleMania sign. Look there, it was literally on fire. Twice, 3 times, multiple times during the night. I don't know how many. But obviously if you were sat under that thing and you had molten WrestleMania sign leaking on your head, I hope you're okay. They had to evacuate that part of the crowd. What? I don't know what to say here. I hope everyone's okay. I set the sign on fire, because I'm straight fire. Becky Lynch admits arson at the Royal Rumble event of 2022. That, my friends, was certainly not on my Royal Rumble 2022 bingo card. The authorities arrest that woman now. Paul Heyman handed the title to Roman Reigns, even though Paul Heyman was in Brock Lesnar's corner. It's not as big as a WTF moment as you might think, as you might remember. On SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, Brock was a bit sassy towards Paul, and then Roman said to Brock, hey man, you can't talk to Paul like that, he's still my girlfriend. But I guess we all thought that Roman Reigns had dumped Paul Heyman by this stage, and Paul Heyman was back together with Brock Lesnar, but now that doesn't appear to be the case. It appears that Paul Heyman is a slut.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Maurice is married to the Edge, said Corey, and I was thinking, the one from U2. And let me tell you everybody, the prospect of the Edge from U2, who I know nothing about, I hope he's not a knobhead. He does call himself the Edge though, maybe he is a knobhead. The Edge from U2 and Maurice being together, it's even better than the real thing. I'm sure their potential wedding would be a beautiful day. And I've heard it through the grapevine, everybody, that the Edge rang up Maurice and said, hello Maurice, I'm going down to the shops, with or without you. And then she rang him back a bit later Twitter and said, hey ho, have you got that thing I was looking for? And he said, no, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And he was like, what do you want? And she was like, a lemon. And he was like, how many? And she said, one. That's multiple U2 songs in a sentence. I hate puns, but I love them.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
The Miz is the luckiest guy in all of WWE, said Corey Graves. Yes, he actually said that sentence. And yes, you cannot be saying that sentence when your significant other is quite literally called the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. Quite frankly, Corey Graves is dead. He dared. Now I know that Corey Graves turns into creepy gimp when he's speaking about most women in WWE these days. I'm sorry, Corey. This is a criticism of your character, not of the person who's portraying Corey Graves. Don't get upset on Twitter. But still, he's not going to survive this one, is he? Carmella's gonna kill him. And now we have Jimmy, the commentator from Monday Night Raw, speaking some words at the end of that tag team match when he said, come in me, come in my wife, disrespect us. This is the price you pay. And to be honest with you, dear viewer, I had no idea that Jimmy, the commentator from Monday Night Raw, and probably his wife or significant other were actually sex workers, and he was taking orders right there. Come in me, come in my wife, disrespect us, this is the price you pay. Sounds like a wonderful time. Now, obviously, he was supposed to be speaking from the perspective of Edge and Beth Phoenix when he was saying, come at me, in a fighty way. Come at my wife. You disrespect us? Well, then you pay the price. Except he didn't say that. He said something very different. Therefore, WTF, you saucy devil, Jimmy. Gimmick infringement, Kane says, you're not a sexy boy, Alan. That belongs to HBK. How did you get up there, Pat? Said Michael Cole to Pat McAfee when Pat McAfee was doing that. Now let's forget about Johnny Knoxville for a second, dear viewer. Wee man's still alive! How, I'm asking? How is he still alive after this happened to him the night before the Rumble of 2022? But I guess also a massive shout out to Johnny Knoxville for even stepping in that professional wrestling ring after this has been doing the news over recent weeks. If I was him, I'd have a good sit down. His list of injuries is longer than Finn Balor's dick, which we all know is very long because he goes, way! Puts his crotch right in the camera, did he? Where was Finn Balor last night? And also, while we're here speaking about jackass related things, go back and watch that forearm from Johnny Knoxville to the face/chest/that area of AJ Styles. Quite frankly, we learned in that moment that Johnny Knoxville taught Mr. Shibata himself everything he knows when it comes to doing the strikes, just like that. Oh yes. Mago, 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 mago. This is risky for Montez Ford going up to the top in a Rumble match, said Michael Cole. And I was thinking, yeah, Michael, it probably is if he goes up the turnbuckle, but quite clearly he goes through the ropes. Through the ropes. And I'm asking, how can Michael Cole, a man who has commentated on professional wrestling for that long, how could he get something like that? All kinds of Pete Tong. It rhymed. I'm a poet and I wasn't aware. And then speaking of Pete Tong, as Angelo Dawkins was making his way down to the ring for the Royal Rumble match, the men's version of 2022, we see Montez Ford's name on both sides of the ring where the computerized ring aprons are. And then Michael Cole calls him Angelo Hawkins, the brother presumably of Justin Hawkins from the darkness. Now this double whammy of back-to-back WTF moments from Michael Cole had me thinking to myself, wow, Michael Cole, since aligning with SmackDown Pat on SmackDown, he really had been growing on me. Stop with the puns, I can't help it, sorry. But he's back with the bastard hat-trick in the last 3 points of the WTF moments. I know he's done more, but he's got a hat-trick right here, right now. Because when he was speaking about Sheamus, Michael Cole claimed that Sheamus has accomplished everything in WWE. And as long-time fans of Sheamus knows, he hasn't. Heartbreakingly so. One day, he will complete the set, and one day, we'll rejoice. Until he does, we will continue to say, just like he did about Total Divas back in the day, no, we're not watching that shite. And we've got to mention Kofi Kingston, haven't we? He was that close to an all-time Kofi Kingston Royal Rumble spot. Apparently, according to people on the internet, which means it's got to be true, he was supposed to land ribs first on that really narrow and really hard, with a little bit of padding, but still really hard and really narrow barricade, and then climb on, hop back onto the steps or something, and back in the Rumble he goes. But it wasn't quite to be. And quite frankly, it's a WTF moment that this is the first Kofi Kingston Rumble spot that has gone wrong out of all of the Kofi Kingston Royal Rumble spots we've seen down the years. It's a miracle he's got this far, let me tell you. So I don't want to see anyone out there calling that thing last night a botch, because quite frankly, if he pulled that off, it would have been a minor miracle. Soyons champion, Booker T, yes, Bad Bunny was back last night. And is it a WTF moment in turn, after seeing that really shocking appearance last night, to say you still got it, to a man who last night only took part, his voice stopped working there, only took part in his second match ever, because he has still got it, and he was the kick in the bollocks the men's Rumble match needed last night. He was fantastic. And from the sublime we go to I want to push my fingers into my eyes and never see the next day again. Here comes the money, there goes my sanity and willing to live. Colonel McSweaty Bollocks came back to be in last night's Rumble, and yes, he clearly still believes he is the best professional wrestler in the world ever, outside of owning a trophy that says that. It's bollocks. Him doing those bloody scrappy-do things to actual MMA fighter Riddle, it boils your piss, doesn't it, dear viewer? It boils your piss. And yes, he still sweats like a pedo in a playground, but the worst thing of all is the fact he got to the final three of the 2022 Men's Royal Rumble match. The final three included Shane McMahon. His appearance at that point of the Rumble and last until the final three just screams of, oh my God, we have no other options. Shane McMahon will get a cheap pop. It'll be loud. It'll be great, despite the fact that for the previous 2 years on TV, he was a professional wrestling heel, and he was responsible for Raw Underground. St. Louis, what the hell were you cheering for? There's nothing to cheer for there. It was a load of bollocks, let me tell you. And then we see Wholesome Bork the Viking knock out hometown hero Randall Keith Orton from the Rumble match of 2022, which makes you think, by gum, he's forgotten who he's been for the past couple of months. What's happened to him? He's lost the title, his boyfriend's left him, he's turned heel. And of course we have to end these WTF moments for the Royal Rumble of 2022 with the cries heard around the world. Where's Veer? I was ready for Veer to come at the Rumble of 2022 and he wasn't there to come. I just want Veer to come to Monday Night Raw. He could have been at the Rumble, then been on Raw. He could be on Raw tomorrow night. We have no idea, but I just want Veer to come. And I guess we could also say that for Finn Balor, as I did earlier on, but also in the women's match, where the hell was Alexa Bliss, and where the hell was the other person I've written down there? Asuka, of course. Who's ready for Asuka? Not even she is these days. She's been cleared for 4 months or something now, apparently. Where the hell is she? But the most important thing is, where the hell is Veer? Is he even alive? It is unconfirmed at this stage. WTF is no longer known as What the Flip Moments for YouTube reasons. It's now known Where the Flip is Veer. Where the Flip is Veer. If you know, let me know down there. But that is it for your Rumble 2022 WTF Moments. Thank you for joining me for another year. Here we go. Strap yourselves in for WTF Moments in 2022. Thank you so much though. Leave a comment down below. Share the video. Like the video. Like Spike. Here we go, everybody. We're kicking things off in the new year in a fantastic way. I've been Ross. I've said that already. Toodle pip. It was Rollins and Reigns was good. Women's Rumble was enjoyable. Brock versus Bobby had its moments of big men slap from all kinds of me. Oh, by the way, we could have played this. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty Mahaan literally 50 times last night, so I didn't bother until just now. But there you go. Give the people what they want. Always putting smiles on people's faces. But yeah, very underwhelming, very predictable Rumble event, wasn't it? Let me know what you think down below. I'm going for a sit down.